But the news of the day is that the Dallas Cowboys have found their man. It took them forever to finally fire Jason Garrett, which is interesting because do you know what today is? You know what today is? Today is it's like the unofficial National Divorce Day. You guys know that? It's like super sad. But it's unofficial national because most people are going to get divorced, stay married through the holidays. And then you're like, New Year's is like January 1st. It's the middle of the week. So the Monday following the New Year's is when you pick up the phone and you call the divorce lawyer. That's what the Cowboys did. Only the Cowboys quickly remarried. Instead of going to therapy, figuring out their own issues, trying to find themselves and figure out what they need and what they want and why their last relationship went wrong, right? That's important. Because anybody can be a divorcee, but once you're a two-time divorcee, now it's a you problem, right? Jerry Jones got remarried like 15 minutes later to Mike McCarthy, who went on like this personal PR rehab tour. Hey, NFL Network, come over to my house where a bunch of other former coaches are going to sit around and watch tapes. And my family needs to move. I have no animus towards Mike McCarthy. But when you hire a guy that quickly and he spends the night at your house and you shun the idea of a complete culture change, you're telling everybody in the NFL, that, look, everything is great here except maybe a little bit of respect and discipline. That we're really, really close. That we're a head coach away. Ed Werder on the hiring of Mike McCarthy, when I asked a team source what the Cowboys needed their next head coach could provide, that was lacking under Jason Garrett, list included 3 critical items: fear, accountability, and discipline. The problem with this premise is that Mike McCarthy doesn't come in with complete autonomy. He can say what he wants to say and act like he carries a big stick and can be disciplined. But the fact remains that Jerry Jones writes the checks. Jerry Jones is the player's owner. Jerry Jones is the GM. And if Jerry Jones says, I don't really feel like firing him, it won't be done. Jerry Jones thinks they're a head coach away from winning a Super Bowl. And man, is he sorely mistaken. Because the best collection of talent does not win football games. The best team wins football games. The best team. Now look, am I going to hold it against Mike McCarthy that he never had an elite running back, so he didn't really run the football? Not really. But I do think it's a curious fit when you overpay your star running back and you bring in a coach who's never really been about establishing the run game. A guy who fought with the intellect of his last quarterback. A guy who's good, who's solid. I'm not sitting here telling you Mike McCarthy can't coach. I'm not telling you Mike McCarthy can't have discipline. The problem with it is he's just middle management. And the upper level management, when the Cowboys have been great, is when Jimmy Johnson had complete autonomy. And though Bill Parcells didn't win a playoff game, that's what started the process of turning this roster around. And that's when Bill Parcells had complete autonomy. So I get the Mike McCarthy hire. Man, it feels like on National Divorce Day, they got divorced and then ran off to Vegas and got remarried super, super quickly. And the Cowboys are telling everybody, hey, our players are good enough. Our head coach wasn't. That's why we didn't get to the playoffs. And I'm here to tell you, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It goes deeper than that. It just does. It goes deeper than that. It goes to people cutting in line to get their contracts. It goes to a quarterback who may not be as good as his contract. It goes to an offensive line that's living on past reputation. It's going to a wide receiving core who's missing the grittiness of a Cole Beasley. A team that defensively, if you lined up and ran 40 times, they would win 10 times over in their division, and yet couldn't get quality stops. The best teams win. And the Cowboys have shunned that. We got good players. We got good speed. We got the glitz and glamour. We'll bring in a head coach. He's won a Super Bowl before. Don't forget he wore out his welcome in Green Bay. Don't forget he couldn't get along with his quarterback. Don't forget he never ran the football. And oh yeah, by the way, it just feels like he's going to sprinkle in a couple of his guys with the staff that's already there. Is that really the change that's needed in Dallas? I mean, they're really high on Kellen Moore. And they had offensive numbers that were off the charts. What did they do against the Pats? What did they do against the Eagles at the end of the season? What did they do against the Saints? What did they do in the games that mattered? I get it. I do understand. You don't want, new voices every year in the ear of your quarterback. That is not a smart way to go. On the other hand, I do think the Cowboys, on some level, are kidding themselves, thinking we just change head coaches, and we'll be good. That's like the guy who's like, man, I'm not running as good a mile as I used to. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change sneakers. That's good. That's going to do it. This pair is lighter. It's more comfortable. I'll run faster. And you know what? At the end of the day, good craftsman never blames his tools. Hey, what up? Doug Gottlieb here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel here at Fox Sports Radio. You can catch my show, all the shows on Fox Sports Radio, unique interviews, strong takes, just interesting discussion on the sports topic of the day, of the week, of the month. It's all encompassing. It's everything you need right here on YouTube. Subscribe.